Welcome back, all our viewers. What a fantastic evening. A lovely game is just concluded. Salil, I've got Salil here with me. Salil, what are your views?
Well, second day in a row, my prediction is wrong. And I think all the teams and their coaches are listening to what I'm saying and doing exactly what is needed to win a match. So I think a stellar performance by the Punjab batsmen, exactly what it was expected out of the top order. All three, they winning by 9 wickets was a good feat, against a side like Mumbai.
Yes, Salil. Talking about the 10th over. After the 10th over concluded, Mumbai had scored 49, whereas Punjab was sitting at 62. So they were ahead in the mid of the match, but the spinners did a fantastic job for Mumbai, pulling the run rate right up to 8.5.
Absolutely. I think what Punjab was able to do is hit those boundaries in the first 10 overs, and that's how they got to a 62. It was not very easy to bat. I mean, the Trent Bolt went for a few, and you had Krunal Pandya who bowled very loose today and went for a lot of
Yeah.
runs. So I think Punjab got it fairly easy, and they made sure that the bad ball was dispatched for a four. So I think that's how they reached a score of 62, and I think that's what important. That's what Mumbai missed out on because of a good bowling performance by Punjab in the first innings. I think it's not the last 10 overs of both the innings, but the first 10 overs that actually decided where the match was going because you put a better score ahead, you go upwards of a 6 or 7 run rate, and then it's easier for you to score towards the end and reach that target of 140, 150. So all in all, good performance and a great performance by Punjab.
Correct, Salil. Talking about, you've rightly pointed out Krunal Pandya bowling loose, but talking about the other spinners, Chahar and Jayant Yadav, they've done a fantastic job today. I mean, the way they've bowled, the variations that they've put, excellent bowling performance.
Well, yes, I mean, like we said, that they are the spearhead of the bowling attack. On a pitch like Chennai, you'd really expect
Mhm.
your spinners to do well, especially if you're playing your fifth match here. So it was something that was really working well. But then you saw Jayant Yadav going for a six, and then the ball getting changed, and then suddenly the game also changed. So the dynamics of the game were also slightly complicated, although it would have finished with a 9 wicket victory. But then I felt while there were 4 overs left, is this going to turn the match? I mean, what did Christopher Henry Gale hit a ball that's not coming back? I mean, that ball was really coming onto the bat, and they were playing it easily. They were tapping it for singles, not taking any risk. Both of them, I don't think the Punjab batsmen really gave them a real chance today.
Correct, Salil. Talking about KL Rahul, the marathon man, he always tends to score a lot of runs in the IPL edition, irrespective which team he's playing for. But he did succumb to pressure, and he did deliver a couple of dot balls. But talking about Chris Gale, there was a time where the run rate had gone up till what 8.5, and he took what 12 balls to score his first 3 runs. So he also did a
Yeah.
fantastic job, didn't he?
Yes, we've seen that with Chris Gayle over the last 2 3 years, and not when he was when his batting was fading from 2015, 16, or 17. Not like the old Gale of what we know. I think now he's reached that age where he's understood he's not going to be running the doubles. There were a couple of doubles to run, but he didn't run it. But what he does is he gets his eye in, and at whatever pace he's playing, he would always end at more than 150 strike rate. So I think what he's doing is adding that balance to the team and making sure that he knows that his task in the team is to get those X amount of runs in X amount of balls and get them in a very strong position, coming 1 wicket down. So an excellent performance by Gale. You didn't see him, although the ball when Bumrah bowled the last few overs in the death, I think the ball was really moving and he bowled a couple of cutters and it was really
Yeah.
difficult to play. But he weathered that, although he's playing on 40s. So that shows his maturity and his grip on the game. He understood the situation where it's almost like a must-win game for Punjab because now they are the other team which are squared with 4 points along with Mumbai on the chart.
Yeah.
So they'll be very happy with this performance. And obviously, Gale coming to form, like we spoke about initially, that he's
Mhm.
not really fired. I think that's a good thing for him to see some pitch time, in the middle, which will be important for Punjab's future campaign.
Correctly said, rightly put, Salil. One aspect with regards to the Mumbai squad today was the fielding. It drastically was very low. A lot of misfields, a couple of drop catches. What are you to say about that?
Well, I think one drop catch was slightly difficult, the one that Rahul Chair missed out of KL Rahul. But I think the others, the fielding was really sloppy. They were not fielding properly. I felt the fielding along the boundary towards the end. Also, I remember Jasprit Bumrah and Rahul Chair. That's the time where your captain and where your bowler is literally counting each ball, the difference between each ball and the amount of runs they're supposed to get. So, and that's where your fielder gives away around 3 runs instead of 1 run. So that becomes slightly disappointing for you. So I think there was a slight letdown by the Mumbai fielding unit. This time around, a very rare thing to see in this tournament because they fielded brilliantly. They've
Yeah.
defended small totals, and I really feel that maybe today was like an off day, but yeah, they could have really done better.
Right, Salil. The fielding aspect for Mumbai Indians has let them down. So, a lot of work to be done. Now that we talk about cricket and batsmen applying themselves, the pitch here is turning out to be a very very it's a square turner in short, Salil. It's lucky that with last few matches left in Chennai and the boys are going to move on to the other venues. What do you think is the way forward when you go to Delhi? The pitch out there is also going to turn out the same in a couple of matches.
Well, if they've played on a pitch like Chennai, Delhi won't be too different. Maybe the weather is different. It might not be as humid. There might not be dew, but it'll be quite dry also to bat on. While they might play two or three spinners, it's quite possible that you can see low scoring matches there as well. But it doesn't. It totally depends on how many wickets they are going to use, depending on how many matches they are. I mean, the last 2 weeks we've been in Mumbai and Chennai playing all the matches. So I think they have 3 or 4 different pitches which they generally play on. So we'll have to see how each of those games go. I mean, for example, when we were playing in Mumbai, there were some high-scoring games, but there were a couple of low-scoring games as well when they didn't play on that pitch. So I think it really varies. And yeah, we have something over here from one of our fans. A lot of low
Yes,
scores in the with Chennai.
Karan
Are the
Sethi,
batting teams
regular
trying
follower.
to or just good bowling. So it's not that the teams are really batting teams are trying too hard to score or it's good bowling. I think the game always depends on the pitch right in the middle. The way the pitch plays, you have to play as per its strengths. If it's good for batting, your batters need to know it. If it's good for bowling, your bowlers need to grab that opportunity. So I think really it's more to do with the pitch. Not that the batsmen are trying too hard. Obviously, if you have a free flowing batsman like a KL Rahul, he's going to try and you know he's going to try and score a boundary of that ball initially. But if it's moving, he might just get out. So it all really depends on what is the situation of the pitch and who is putting what kind of effort. So it's quite subjective, really, to answer that.
Nicely put. One aspect that we haven't really touched upon is Mayank Agarwal. His contribution today was excellent, taking the attack to the opposition. As you have rightly pointed that the power play is where you can score the maximum amount of runs. He also did a fantastic job, didn't he, Salil?
Yes, scoring 25 of 20 balls. I think he complemented KL Rahul pretty well. I think he'd be slightly disappointed with the kind of wicket he gave away because you wouldn't really expect that from somebody who's earned his test cap. So I would
Mhm.
have really expected Mayank and Rahul to score a chunk of this 130 runs because I mean the time of the time where he lost his wicket was
Mhm.
the crucial time where you really don't want to lose a wicket as a chasing team in Chennai. And I mean, the last few weeks are proof enough for us to see why you shouldn't lose your wicket for a set batsman. Because if Christopher Henry Gale would have actually got out in the initial balls because he was not able to score, he scored 3 of 12 balls, like you said. So it
Mhm.
was slightly a little scary, you can say. I mean, because I think all of them in the camp would be sitting with their fingers crossed. But then, yeah, we know what happened. Gale sailed through and took them home. But it could have gone either ways. So I think
Well, we've
something
got
for
the
my
we've got the scorecard here.
yeah.
Mumbai scoring 131. Talking about the bowlers, only one wicket taker, Chahar. He's again in wickets. Salil, he's always been the first striker for Mumbai Indians this season.
Yep, I think that's a consolation that he's got today. Just one wicket of Mayank Agarwal, brilliant ball, obviously, and not able to hit the ball against the spin and holding out to Surya Kumar Yadav. He's been a mainstay of the bowling, but I think today they were slightly off. He was not complimented by a Bumrah or a Trent Bolt up front,
Mhm.
and even Krunal Pandya, like you said, who was playing second fiddle to him, didn't really bowl well. In fact, I thought Jayant Yadav bowled a very good over to Chris Gayle, and it was quite I felt the performance of the bowlers was slightly off today.
Strong words there, Salil. Do you think Sharma missed upon the bowling of Hardik Pandya today, given the cutters that he bowls are quite deceptive?
Well, that wouldn't really would have made a difference. I think for from a bowling perspective, only the spinners were the ones who could really make an impact. The fast bowlers were being easily played also. Like they played Shami, while
Mhm.
it would be difficult to score the runs off them, but definitely not wicket taking like the spinners would have been. So, and apart from that, I think Hardik is also nursing an injury due to which he's not able to
Uh-huh.
bowl. So that option was out there for him. Maybe he would have tried Trent Bolt or Jasprit Bumrah a little couple of overs earlier, and
Uh-huh.
then maybe brought the spinners. Maybe that would have been a different strategy. But yeah, clearly by the looks of it, by looking at Rohit Sharma and his expressions on the field, he was slightly disappointed. He's generally a cool guy, but he showed a little bit of discomfort with the kind of fielding, and whenever a bowler was bowling a loose ball,
Uh-huh.
it was all eyes were on Zahir Khan, in the dugout bowling.
True. The cameraman finds the right spot. Given Chris Gayle's
Absolutely.
performance today, Salil, Krunal Pandya, who really bowls a wide, was forced to bowl three wides, trying to protect himself and his economy.
I think he had some time off also after he bowled his 2 overs for 14 runs, and they were not expecting that because that you shouldn't go for more than 6 runs an over and ensure that you keep it below the run rate. I think that is what every captain and every coach will expect from a bowler who is defending a small total, a relatively small total. So I think he had a chat with Zahir also in the dugout, but he was out, and when he came out and when he got the ball, I don't think it was his day really. He sprayed the ball, and I think he got a little intimidated by Gale. I think that ball spinning into Gale was not something that he was expecting to bowl at. He was
Mhm.
expecting to bowl at Mayank and Rahul, but then you're up in
True.
that situation. You're up in that situation, and you're bowling to Chris Gale. So uh, there's a very good chance. And I think that over was good enough. He had bowled
Mhm.
3 dots, but then those 3 wides and a boundary, then it really goes downhill. And it was, yeah, I felt a little bad for Krunal Pandya today.
Nice advice and a nice overall chit chat with regards to the match. That's just got over, Salil. Tomorrow is also an exciting contest. RR takes on KKR. Both, having the same stats except for the economy rate for the run rate for the batting. Both have played four matches each and then only managed to win one, though both have come close to winning the others as well. But a pretty one-sided contest with regards to the bottom dwellers. So, what is your take with regards to tomorrow's match?
Well, I think it's an exciting one, and you have Sanju Samson and a very very talented team along with Alan Morgan, who was so close the other day to win that match. It was an exciting match, and I think their spirits are really high with the way their middle lower order has played. If your number 6, 7, 8 score more than 150 runs, you need to feel great. So I think their batsmen in
Yeah,
the KKR camp will be feeling really nice. Whereas I think RR batsmen have a little work that they need to do. So they
true
might
that.
couple thing here and there maybe to see a difference, or you might see a change. But all in all, I think they're going to be fighting at loggerheads tomorrow to get home those 2 points and move out from that zone of 2 points that they're really stuck in at the bottom of the
Uh-huh.
table.
It's been lovely chatting with you, Salil. Quite exciting that the comments that you've put were spot on. What are your predictions with regards to tomorrow's match, Salil?
Well, I think KKR have the edge tomorrow.
KKR's got the edge tomorrow. Wonderful. Nice chatting with you, Salil. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for all our viewers for joining in. We'll catch up tomorrow, Salil. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Thanks. Good night.